What's up everyone, Criddle here, and in this video we're going to go over the Monk class in Monsters and Memories. We'll cover how I would build the class and its stat priorities, the Monk's role in a group, how well the Monk can solo, and finally take a look at some of the skills and abilities. The Monk is primarily a melee DPS class that excels as a puller, which is when a person in your party brings enemies to the camp. The Monk has several stances which benefit not only itself but also its party. Monks can be human or ogre, and I don't suspect any other races will be available in the future, but we'll see as the game develops. As for stats on the Monk, strength and dexterity are slightly higher than the rest, indicating these are needed, and I would agree. In fact, these are really the only two stats the Monk uses for the most part, and I would definitely max those out. Your final 3 points could go into stamina or agility for added survivability, and personally I would go with stamina as health helps all the time, while agility only helps when you're being attacked directly. For the major combat trait, any of the previously mentioned stats would be beneficial. I would choose strength for the bonus damage or dexterity for the added hit chance, especially when fighting higher level enemies. Choosing tenacity as a human could also be nice, as the Monk is a puller and getting mesmerized or incapacitated while pulling could prove fatal. Ogre Smash is also a great option for an extra 2-second stun. Unfortunately, Ogre Smash is most likely on a long cooldown, and Monks already have a couple of stuns available to them. For minor non-combat trait, this is an easy choice for me, as Bludgeoner, Defender, Ambidextrous, and Warrior will most likely stay max, as you will be using them a lot. Knife Thrower is the only one you may not use often, and for that reason I would choose that to help keep it max, as the only real benefit of the minor non-combat trait is gaining a skill 25% faster. Major non-combat trait is generally the same for every class, and I would choose Master Artisan if I plan to do trade skills, or Forage for the free food and water. Fast and slow metabolism in my opinion are not worth it, as food is fairly cheap and easy to obtain, and currently Endurance doesn't do much other than allow you to jump a few extra times. As for Iron Lung, it is easily replaced with the Endure Breath spell. While Infravision can be nice for seeing in the dark, you can also use light sources or adjust your monitor to compensate. And finally, we have the minor non-combat trait, which is up to you. Choose whichever trait you want based on the trade skill you want to level, and if you want to level several, find the one that would be most difficult for the extra 5% chance to skill up. As for skills, Monks start off with all combat skills needed like defense, offense, and bludgeoning. Monk is also the only class that can dual wield from the beginning and can block without a shield. Monks also excel in hand-to-hand combat, which only gets better as they gain levels and skill. In some cases, hand-to-hand may be better than fighting with weapons, so be sure to keep an eye on that. At level 15, the Monk unlocks double attack, and I recommend returning to your trainer and buying the first point in that to get it started. For Monk abilities, they don't receive many. Starting off at level 1, they have a Mend, which is a 30% self-heal with a 5-minute cooldown, Round Kick for some added damage, and Taunt to pull threat when needed. Do note that Monks are not primarily tank classes, but they can tank in a pinch if necessary, and a well-geared Monk can tank well for an XP group. At level 2, they unlock Celestial Strike, which has a variety of uses based on the stance they are in, which I'll talk about later. At level 3, they receive Jab, which is an interrupt and prevents further spells for 4 seconds. Finally, at level 4, their bread and butter skill, Feign Death, which is what makes Monks excel as a puller for a group. Feign Death does exactly as the name implies, which makes the Monk pretend to be dead, making enemies stop attacking and forget about them. Do note that when you stand back up after Feign Death, there is a chance enemies will remember and notice you, in which case they will re-aggro and attempt to attack you. Monks will need to Feign Death again or stay down longer to clear the threat completely. Now back to the stances mentioned earlier. Monks have 4 stances, one for each element of Earth, Fire, Water, and Wind. Each stance has its own benefit to the Monk and causes Celestial Strike to have different effects. Earth stance increases armor class and gives Celestial Strike the ability to reduce physical damage by 5%. Fire stance increases fire resistance by 15% and reduces fire-based environmental damage by 50%, as well as gives Celestial Strike a chance to activate Fist of Flames, which burns the target every 6 seconds for 30 seconds. Water stance increases your cold resist by 15% and your underwater air capacity by 50%, as well as giving Celestial Strike a chance to activate Empowered Celestial Vitality, which heals your group for a small amount of health. Finally, Wind Stance, which increases movement speed by 10% and gives Celestial Strike's proc, Celestial Fury, a chance to attack a second time with the main hand weapon attacks. Overall, the Monk is a powerful melee DPS class with a variety of useful stances for different situations. The bonus healing from its water stance can be especially useful to ease the burden on healers, as it can keep the party members topped off so they can focus on the tank. Their superior Feign Death allows them to pull mobs that other classes would otherwise have to deal with multiple at once. All of this together makes the Monk welcome in any party and gives them a great solo potential with their self-healing, defensive buff, and interrupts and stuns. Anyway, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed the content or found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and follow for more. Also, be sure to tune into my Twitch streams where we'll be playing and chatting about Monsters and Memories as well as many other games. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye!